أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum jamiyan wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you for joining us for this session number 4. After this, we have 2 more sessions in this particular course. So inshallah, let's first of all begin with Surah Al-Fatiha. As you know that so many people have been killed in Lebanon, almost 1,800, so many children, women, 1 million people have been displaced. So people are going through a lot of difficulties. So let us start with Surah Al-Fatiha, and then inshallah we will ask a volunteer to read the dua. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العظيم. These are very difficult times on Muslims, but especially now for Shias. Make sure that as you pray for yourself, pray for your family, pray for your dear ones, let us also pray for those who are suffering now, inshallah. I hope somebody's dua will be accepted. Especially pray that there should be peace there and some kind of wisdom should prevail, because each side is just trying to outdo the other. In the process, you can see so many people are suffering. Any volunteer recite a dua for us today?
I'll do it.
Allah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين أبدا اللهم اشرح بالقرآن صدري واستعمل بالقرآن بدني ونور بالقرآن بصري وأطلق بالقرآن لساني وإني عليه ما أبقيتني فإنه لا حول ولا قوة إلا بك.
اللهم صل على محمد. جزاك الله. So as we said that the first lines are special, beautiful, try to memorize them. But then Allahumma shrah bil Qur'ani sadri. Oh Allah, widen my chest to the Quran. From here till the end is the dua of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He used to recite it when completing the tilawat of Quran. So when you do tilawat of Quran daily, perhaps you can read this thing now. So Allah, just widen my chest to the Quran. Wasta'amil Qurani badani. I like this thing now. Let my body follow the Quran. That means, subhanallah, my body follow the Quran. That means, our sitting, our standing, our sleeping, our zikr, our akhlaq, our attitude should all be in the light of the Quran, right? وَنَوِّرْ بِالْقُرْآنِ بَصَرِي. And let enlighten my eyes through the Quran. SubhanAllah. Imam used to say that we should see, as we read the Quran, we should not only read, but the Quran should be to enlighten us. Let our eyes see the light of the Quran. وَأَطْلِقْ بِالْقُرْآنِ لِسَانِي. And let my tongue speak according to the Quran. It means we try to quote the Quran all the time, or recite the Quran all the time. And of course, help me to stay on it so long as I stay, as you let me live. So we try to stay on the sirat of Quran, on the teaching of the Quran, as long as Allah gives us life. Because for sure there is no power and strength except with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means we need Allah's strength and power to follow this thing, inshallah. Today, inshallah, as I don't know if you had a chance to look at the slides which I already sent earlier, it was posted also. Now you can see that double posting. We post these slides on the website as well as also in the WhatsApp group. So I hope that you have joined the WhatsApp group. So please try to go through the slides. Today, what we are going to concentrate, because I was talking to some of the people who have been studying under us, to take their advice. And some of them said that maybe we are doing a lot of things in one class. We are covering a lot of rules, a lot of material. So what I'll do is that I'll slow down slightly to try to repeat things, give more exercise, try to do more things. So until that time that we understand the concept well. But at the same time, please keep in mind that this is a classroom, okay? So if you don't understand certain things, feel free to ask. There's nothing wrong in it, no? It's not a majlis, it's not, and there is nothing like a dumb question. An answer can be a dumb. Question cannot be dumb. So never hesitate to ask question. Even you'll be surprised. I've been teaching this thing, I've been lecturing for all these years, but I often ask people, for example, that somebody, I think that would know it, I'll ask them people. Even sometimes I come across some of the rules, which I'm not sure, I ask people. There's nothing wrong with it, because we learned to it. So please make sure that we understand what we are doing. Don't just assume that, oh, I'll do it later on, I'll read it again. No, let's try to understand what's in the class as much as possible. So this is regarding the Arab, right? That Arab is something which people have always found what difficulty understanding. So I realized that I'll tell you the example. What is this Arab? Arab is the phenomenon of word declination. What is the word declination? For example, those who speak Urdu, right? We will say Meri Ma, right? Or Mera Walid. Meri Walida or Mera Walid. No? So you can see Meri or Mera. Or for example, in Gujarati, we say Mari Mata, Mara Pita, Maro Dikro. You can see that it changes, right? It's the same thing. My father, my mother, my son. But that Ma, Ro, Mari, Maro changes on account of who is there. So this is known as declination. We don't have this kind of concept in English, but in Urdu, in Gujarati, in Arabic, we have this thing. So that is why, for example, we have got this declination of through this change and variation, we understand the grammatical case of the word by which we get to know the function of the word in the sentence. So, for example, when you say Mary Walida, right? So here, Mary, has a function. That means now what you're going to say, Mary, what is going to follow is now be feminine. You can't say Mary Walid, right? Because it will be wrong grammatically. And if you do that thing, people will automatically know that you're making a mistake. So in the same way also, I remember when we were young, there were people who used to say Gujarati from some place, I won't give you the name, they always used to make a mistake. So we say your Gujarati is like people of like those, no? They would not understand the difference between what feminine and masculine. So there is a feminine and masculine concept. In the same way, for example, Arabic has this kind of thing. So we can have Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhi, or Nuhu, Nuho, Nuhin, right? Depending what part of the speech is this. So as we said that, Wanada Nuhun Rabbahu, Nu call out to his Lord. So here Nu is the subject, is the doer of the action. And the doer of the action is a subject which is always nominative. The Arabic word is marfu, So either you use the English word nominative or you can use Arabic marfu. For example, our text, our author does not use nominative or accusative genitive. She uses marfu, mansub, and majrur. So either way, as long as you understand the concept, it's fine if you just know these things. If we use English or Arabic, no. And then of course here says, قد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه. Indeed, we sent Nuh to his people. So we here is Allah, right? Indeed, we are son. So Allah, the subject is we. But Arsalna Nuh, so we sent. So the one who is being sent now is object. Allah is the one who is commissioning or sending or asking Nuh, you go to his people. So Allah is the subject ordering Nuh to go there. So here Nuh becomes what accusative, right? An object, Nuh. For example, Inna wahayna ilayka kama wahayna ila Nuhin wa nabiyyina wa min ba'd. And we have revealed, we have done wahi to you, O Prophet Muhammad, the way we revealed to Nuh and prophets other than. So Nuhin, ila Nuhin. So Nu becomes Nuhin. Then of course, remember we said Nabi, if you take Nabi, the word Nabi is plural is Nabiyun. You know, Nabiyun is plural. But Nabiyun is plural. That is in nominative. In accusative and genitive becomes Nabiyin. And that is why I can say ila Nuhin wa Nabiyin. Because this ila preposition applies to Nu, but also as well as Nabiyin, because after Nu there is waw. This is known as waw of conjugation. So after waw of conjugation, the same rule will apply. Okay, whatever the rule applies, for example, for Nu, will also apply to Nabiyin. Okay, so this is the thing which we are discussing. I hope you understand. Any questions? Anybody has a question regarding this particular concept? That how this changes and why it changes? No. And what's the function? The function is that it tells you the grammatical, right? If the Nu is subject, then it is marfu, then it is nominative. If Nu is an object, then it is accusative. If Nu, for example, is preceded by a preposition or mudaf ilayh, then it is Nuhin. Okay, so we have done this thing. And then, of course, I realized that many of us did not learn Arabic, but Quran in Arabic, we did Quran whilst we were, by Urdu teacher or Farsi teachers, right, or Gujarati teachers. So for Fatah, Kasra, Dhamma, we use what? For Dhamma, we use Pesh, right? For Fatah, we use Zabar. And for Kasra, we use Zer. So if you Zabar, Zer, Pesh, if you know, so that is it, no? Fatah, Kasra, and Dhamma, Zabar, Zer, Pesh, Fatah, Zabar, you should know that. Although we are using Kasra, Fatah, Dhamma, but it's same as Zabar, Zer, and Pesh, okay? In case if you do not know. So this is the same usage of word. So that was singular. But now coming to plural, now see here it is. What I've done is that, first of all, we have done already sound plural, right? Because the first lesson which we did in this course was plurals, right? Lesson number 15. We revised 15 and then went to 16, right? So if you see that now, here is, for example, kafirun, which is singular, right? Kafirun is singular. His dual is kafiran. His plural is kafirun. Do you see this thing? So kafirun is singular, or katibun, singular. Katiban, two writers. Now katibun, many writers, right? Kafirun. So this is singular, dual, and plural. For example, there is a very famous hadith of the Prophet says, Al-Hassan wal-Hussein imaman, right? Hassan and Hussein are imams. So imam is one, and then imaman are two imams, right? So you can see kafirun is singular, kafiran are dual. And then it's kafirun. Now, of course, this is nominative. Remember, I told you that always the default is nominative. Keep in mind. Default, for example, he said, if your name is Ali, then you write Aliyun. No, Ismi Aliyun, for example, because that is default, always. Default is always nominative. Then, of course, on account of what part of speech it is, it changes to accusative or genitive. Okay, so kafirun, kafiran, kafirun. So what we have done in this case, we have highlighted, we have marked, you can see. That Dhamma, you can see Dhammatain here, this presents as nominative. You see Dhammatain here. Alif and Nun Kasra, this represents dual in a sound plural, dual, right? And then Kafirun, this is plural. Okay, like Muslim, Musliman, Muslimun, right? So you can see Kafirun, Kafiran, Kafirun, right? So this is nominative, default, right? And when is the nominative? When would we find nominative? First is default. What other cases will find nominative? When will we have nominative?
So when it's a subject?
Yeah, subject of the if you find subject, both subject in a verbal sentence, in an action, or also subject in a mubtada. For example, if a nominative sentence, mubtada and khabar, subject and predicate, so even that is always nominative. So you can see nominative when it is subject. First of all, it is default. Default is always nominative on its own. Subject is what nominative. Also subject of a action or subject or in a nominative in a nominal sentence. That means a sentence begins with a noun, right? That also will be nominative. Then now we come with accusative. Accusative is when, as we said, in singular form, it is fataten, right? So accusative, kafiran, that is accusative. And when do we get accusative? When it is object, and also another when it is accusative when it is object, or when it is, which is another case to get about accusative.
When it's preceded by in now.
Awesome. Preceded by inna and inna's sister. Oh, inna, anna, no, ka'anna, la'alla. We'll come to, inshallah, later on lesson, just when you come to the unit 2, and when you come to the verbs, we'll do a special lesson on what these things now. But okay, yeah, inna, in fact, sorry, unit 1 only, so they will do doing it. So if it is before inna, so we can say, inna allaha, right? Or ashhadu anna muhammadan rasulullah. Usually we say muhammadun rasulullah, right? But we say ashhadu anna. I bear witness that sure indeed Muhammad is the messenger. So anna brings about muhammadan. You see, it changed muhammadan. It is muhammadun, but changes muhammadan. So that becomes accusative. So it is kafiran, right? But singular. But now when we come to dual or plural, first of all, kafirun is a singular, right? Kafirun. And we said this dual is kafiran, this plural is kafir. But now kafiran becomes kafirain because of accusative. Okay, accusative, it becomes kafirain. Kafirain. So for example, Sibtan. Sibtan means 2 grandsons. Sibtan. But then, for example, if you want to change that Sibtan, which is nominative, into accusative, we say Sibtain. That's how we get Sibtain. Or even Hassan and Hussein are Hasnan, right? That means 2 sons whose name began with Hassan. But when you change it to accusative and genitive, say Hasnain. That's how it is, okay? So Sibtain, Hasnain. So Kafirain is a dual accusative. Same case is the same case if it's genitive. In singular genitive is Kafirin, but in dual, it is Kafirain. So there is no difference between the accusative genitive when it comes to dual, okay? So it actually is easier, right? It makes things easier. So for accusative genitive, it still retains kaf, it becomes kafirin. So kafir, when do we have genitive? In what cases do we have genitive? When do we have genitive? Please, anybody, even if it's wrong, don't worry, just know.
If there's a mudaf alayh.
Sorry, when?
It's a majroor, sorry.
Yeah, so majroor. So when do we have majroor? When do we have genitive case? When it is preceded by?
The prepositions.
Preposition, yeah. Preposition in Arabic is on the huruf jar. That's how majroor comes, okay? Jar is a preposition in Arabic. So Allah, min, ba, all these are what prepositions. Fi is a preposition. So this brings about genitive. So that's one case. What is the other case of a genitive? Mudaf ilayh, right? Baytullahi, Kitabullahi, right? See, so Baytullahi, house of Allah. That of is represented by kasra in the ha, Baytullahi, Kitabullahi. So that is genitive. So again, in singular it is kafirin, but in dual it will be kafirin, like accusative, and then in plural it is kafirin. And that's, for example, good Amir. Amir means commander. So it actually, Imam Ali is Amir of Mu'minin, right? Is Mu'minun, because Mu'min is singular, Mu'minun is plural. So Amir of Mu'minun. But when you say in Arabic, we say Amirul Mu'minin. What is happening? Mu'minun becomes Mu'minin. Why? Because Mu'minin, Amirul Mu'minin is a mudaf ilayh, okay? Commander of the faithful. So in the phrase Amirul Mu'minin, Mu'minin is a mudaf ilayh. And mudaf ilay will carry a genitive, okay? And that's why it's Amirul Mu'mineen, okay? Otherwise, if we say, for example, Imam Ali was the commander of the Mu'minun, which is correct. If we say, for example, sometimes we are talking, giving a lecture, we say Imam Ali was commander of the Mu'minun, which is correct, because Mu'minun is the default original. But when it comes to mudaf ilayh, it becomes Mu'minin. So that was all masculine. Then comes to feminine, right? Kafiratun, kafiratan, kafiratin. These are all same thing, but now putting ta marbuta. And today's lesson will be doing a lot of about tanis. That means we are going to look at number of verses on Quran and try to see how to identify the feminine. So kafiratun. What we did, we just look kafirun, and that's ta marbuta becomes kafiratun. Okay. And then, of course, there's nominative. Accusative will be kafirat, genitive will be kafirat. I'm putting it in red, right? Then it's a kafiratan. Kafiratun, kafiratan, and kafiratun. Okay, kafiratani, kafiratun. This is nominative. Singular, dual, plural. Okay. And you can see the pattern is same as what we did of what Muslim, Musliman, Muslimun. We were doing what plural form, right? And then, of course, kafiratan is accusative, and dual is kafiratain. Earlier was kafirain, but because it's tanis, because it's feminine, we add ta. Kafiratain, kafiratin. Okay, and both accusative will be same. So this is the table that trying to see that you can see how from dual to from singular to dual and plural it changes. The same cases, it changes. So it happens that it follows the rule of sound plural. What we are doing sound plural. Sound plural, for example, it is Muslim, Musliman, Muslimun, right? Muslim is singular. Musliman is two Muslims. Muslimun are many Muslims. So that is nominative. The same, you are going to now change to accusative by changing this. Kafiran becomes kafirain, kafirun becomes kafirin. So Musliman becomes Muslimain, Muslimun becomes Muslimin. You see, this is how it changes. So the same pattern what we did of the plural appears here, but then because of accusative, those changes. And then of course with feminine, we add the ta marbuta, and because of that, ta appears everywhere, right? Kafiratan, kafiratun, kafirataini, kafirat. You can see ta appears there. There is no ta here, you can see, all in this case, right? In the masculine, you can see there is no ta here. When it comes to feminine, ta is there throughout. In singular, in dual, plural. Okay, whether it's nominative, accusative. Ta in these cases, all these cases, ta is alarm of tanis. That means the sign of. Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, so that completes our discussion as far as this is concerned. And this is the example we gave also last week, right? Very quickly. So what is happening? It is the same thing what we have done here, but here in the exercise, they asked us to highlight the Arab, highlight the Arab of these plural forms, dual and plural form, because these are all dual and plural form, all of this. So mu'minun was the plural. Mu'min is singular, mu'minan are two mu'mins, and mu'minun are plural, right? So now it is mu'minun. But because it is, in this case, it is waliyul mu'minin. Wallahu waliyul mu'min. Allah is the protector or the wali of believers. So waliyul mu'minin is mudaf ilayh. So that it would be mu'minun became mu'minin because of mudaf ilayh. As we saw earlier, that no, kafirun becomes kafirin, right? In the same way, mu'minun becomes mu'minin, you can see, right? Waliyul mu'minin. Otherwise, if it was not mudaf ilayh, if there was no here, if it was default, we say Allah waliyul mu'minun. But waliyul mu'minun is wrong grammatically because mu'minun has to be mudaf ilayh, has to be always genitive. So in this case, Ya and Nun Fatah is the Arab of Mu'minin here, the Arab sign of Arab. In case of plural, the same comes here, An-Nabiyyu awla bil mu'min. But here it is mudaf ilayh, here because of preposition. But huruf jar. Here Mu'minin is huruf jar, here Mu'minin is mudaf ilayh. You see? But same. Okay. And then of course, Ra'ayt al-Munafiqin. Again, Munafiq is singular. Munafiqan are two, duals. Munafiqun are plural. Surah al-Munafiqun, right? You can see Surah al-Munafiqun is plural, right? So Munafiqun is plural. But Ra'ayt al-Munafiqin, you saw Munafiqin. In this case, what you saw is an object, right? Becomes object. I saw, for example, a flask in front of me. I saw a flask. So I am the seer, I'm the subject, and flask is now an object. So here Munafiqin is an object, Munafiqun became Munafiqin, Ra'ayt al-Munafiqin. That was all sound dual. Sound plural sign, okay, sound plural masculine. Now we are coming to sound plural feminine. Sama'un, samawat. Samawat, right? Example, mu'minin, mu'minat. Mu'mina is a singular. Mu'minat are plural, mu'minat. So khalaqa samawat. So this is now plural, feminine. Okay. Again, it is accusative because it's object. Khalaqa, he created the heavens. Now this is dual. Abdun, okay, Abdan and Abidun. Okay, so Abdun is singular, Abdan is plural, and this is Abdain, which is the same as Abdan, but it is now what accusative and genitive form, Abdain, and became accusative because it became genitive because of what? Because before that there is Tahta. Tahta is like a jar. It's like a jar because although it is not huruf a jar, but it is a noun which behaves like a jar. We've covered in lesson 7 and 8. No? And then of course inna, right? It's inna. Mubazzirun becomes mubazzirin. Watlu alayhim naba ibn Adam. Last time I explained to you that it is ibnain, ibnan and ibnain, right? But then when it's mudaf ilayh, the noon disappears. The noon is deleted. We just drop the noon. No, it's mudaf ilayh. In the same way it is bani, for example, umul banin, it is banin, but we say bani Israel, that noon disappears, it's part of bani, mudaf ilayh. So these are the example Arab, what in singular, dual form, plural form. Any questions? Okay, so this was a quick revision of what we've done. And hopefully that you have now understood this thing. Please wait. So this is, we also did the lesson on body parts, which also, body parts, we did this thing immediately after lesson 15, because lesson 15 was plural. But the 16 body parts, because body parts also you can see these are plural, but this is a broken plural. I mean, aswafiha, ubariha, ashariha, right? From their wool, fur, and hair. No? So aswaf, ubar, these are all plural of this broken plural. Okay. Sadr, now, no, this is single lisan, wa shafatain, wa lisan wa shafatain. So shafatain is two lips, right? A tongue and two lips. Shafatain, you can see shafatain. Sadr, sudur, right? So this is also second. So these are all body parts which we have discussed earlier. It's in a broken plural. These are all examples all in the Quran about broken plural, which we did know. Again, in ayat of Quran, this was the homework which I had given you, and then I put the answer here. Thank you for those who submitted the homework. So here again, nafsun, nufusun, anfusun, right? So this is plural, you can see nafsun, nufusun, anfus. There are two plural sometimes, and then both of them are broken plural. Ainun, ayunun, anfun, unufun, and anafun. Again, there are two plural here. Unufun, anafun. You can see, but these are broken plurals. Udhunun, adhanun, sinnun, asnanun. So these are all plurals. You see how the plurals are there? But these are broken plural. Nafsun, nufusun, anfusun. Ainun, ayunun. Anfun, unufun, anafun. Sometimes a word has two broken plurals. Depends how it is used. Now, as I told you, that one of the biggest beauty about Arabic language is that they make it easy on the tongue. No. So sometimes the way that word appears in a sentence, they'll see which is lighter. Is it unuf or ana? So according they'll put both of them will be used. No. Okay. How much we will discuss about later on. Let's get into this thing. Now our discussion will be about what feminine nouns. Okay, feminine nouns. We come to it. So what I would like is I have chosen. Let's all together do together. Okay, in the class. I hope that all of you will participate one by one. Is that these are the signs of feminine, right? We said ta marbuta, alif maksura, alif with madda and hamza. So jannatun, izzatun, sugra, bushra, bayda, hamra, right? All these are feminine because they follow this thing. You can they end with ta marbuta, or they end with alif maksura, or they end with alif and hamza. No? So jannatun, izzatun, sugra, bushra, bayda'u, hamra'u, sawda'u, all this, right? Body parts, as we said, those which are paired are always considered as feminine. Ainun, udunun, yadun, rijul, right? These four things are in pair, right? Eyes, the ears, hands, and feet, right? Even the wings, they are considered as what feminine, right? And fire, narun, jannah, all these things. And there are also other examples which are in our table, right? So now let us do this thing. This we also share with you this example that you can just, if you are given a masculine, you can easily change into feminine by adding ta marbuta in many cases. So khabirun, an expert. Khabiratun, an expert woman or expert girl. Katibun, a writer or secretary. Katibatun, she is a secretary. He is Yehudi, he is a Jew, she is a Yehudiya. He is Qanitun, he is devout, she is Qanitun. He is Mukhlisun, sincere, faithful. She is Mukhlisatun. He is fasting, Simon, she is Simonatun. No. He is a leader, Sayyidun, she is Sayyida. That's why you can say Sayyida Fatima, right? We say Sayyid, Muhammad or Sayyid Ali, but we say Sayyida Fatima. That's where it comes. Sayyida here is, of course, there are two meanings also. Sayyida also is used for Sadat, for example. But here, Sayyida also means leader, Sayyida, Sayyidun, Sayyida, right? So this is how it is changing. Just by adding ta marbuta, you can have change into feminine. So I want now you to open the Quran, okay? And let us start opening the Quran, keep in front of us. I want each one of you, keep the Quran in front of you, and let us go through these passages, okay? So we go to Surah Al-Baqarah, because I want you to master now this what feminine aspect, okay? So we go to Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 67 to 74. Because in Surah Al-Baqarah is known as Baqarah because there's a story of the cow there. Okay? So there is a story of the cow in Surah Al-Baqarah. Let's start there. If you are using the same print as mine, it is page 13. Otherwise, you can start upon any Quran with translation in Urdu or also in English. I don't mind. No, as long as keep the Quran in front of you. Okay. So let us start. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I'll recite the first ayat and then I'll tell you if there is any feminine. Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah. وإذ قال موسى لقومه إن الله يأمركم أن تصبحوا بقرة قالوا أتتخذنا هزوا قال أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين. So here, anybody knows what is the feminine here?
Bakratan.
Sorry?
Is it Bakaratan?
Bakaratan Asad. Bakaratan is feminine. Any other feminine? What about Musa?
Yes.
Yes or no?
That's masculine, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is
so
that the proper name?
it is masculine, but what it has a sign of feminine, right?
Yes.
It ends with ta marbuta. Sorry, alif maksura, right? So yes, in this case you can see it has the sign of what feminine alif maksur like Bushra, Sugura, Kubra, Musa, right? But we know very well that is the name of the man, right? So where I told you earlier, remember we had said earlier, here for example, if you see an exception, right? The exception, so ta marbuta is the sign of feminine. But Muawiyah, right? Muawiyah also ends with ta marbuta, right? Muawiyah ends with ta marbuta. But as we know that it is the name of the man. So he will be, then it will not be feminine, it will be masculine. Are you with me? So the same applies to also what Musa or Isa. Although Musa and Isa, both of them end with alif maksura, so it has the sign of tanis, the feminine sign at the end, but still it is the name of a masculine, Musa. Okay, are you with me? Okay. Anybody will recite next ayat and tell us if there is any feminine there? Please, all of us, let's try to do it together. I want you to master this.
Keep away from things.
Bismillah.
Oh, the problem with bottle, it keeps coming out.
So I can do the next one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا فرض ولا بكر وأوان بين ذلك فافعلوا ما تؤمرون.
Asante. So what is the feminine there? Is there any feminine there?
Again, the word bakaratun.
Asan. Again, the word bakaratun. You see? And you can see before that, Kalud ulana rabbaka. Try to understand here. Kalud ulana rabbaka, yubayyin laha ma hiya. They said, ask your Lord, invoke your Lord for us, that he may clarify for us what she may be. Yubayyin lana ma hiya. This here refers to what? To Bakara. Okay, Bakara. Because in earlier, for example, when Allah says here that no, just no, tell you what Musa in Allah yamurukum, that your Lord has said that you slaughter a cow. So now they're asking, ask your Lord, you know, what kind of, you know, is this, right? That just clarify what for us, what she may be. No? So you can see yubayyina ma hiya, what she is. Kala inna bakratun, and then of course Allah now clarifies. It's a what it's a cow, neither old nor young, of middle age, right? Faf'alu ma tu'marun. So now do what you are commanded. No? But this is an interesting story that they still don't just do it. They still argue. Sometimes people do this thing, right? When they don't want to do certain things, there are a lot of arguments, right? So it continues. Yes. Thank you.
So,
Is our next one? Yes.
On this ayat 68, if you look at the translation, which is, word by word, it says it, mahia as it.
Yes.
I understand the she part, but why would you then refer is at it? Or was it a reason for it, or it was just a translation done that way?
No, because in English, a cow will be it, right? In English, we say he or she to a human being and it to a cow. So, this in their translation, they'll just put it for here, because here can be it or she. Hua is it or he. Okay, if you see our lesson quite earlier in the beginning when we were doing it, so hua means it or he, here means it or she. So maybe they have kept it as it. And here our translator in Kuli Karai has kept the word she, keeping that, word bakara, because it is here. So both
Thank
are correct. You can also say it or she, because it's not a human being. If this was, if we were discussing human being, then of course it would not be correct. Otherwise, for example, we say, I have a cow. It is a big cow, right? That's how I would say in English. For example, I have a cow, I would say it's a big cow, or for example, I'll say she. Right? For example, when people are walking with the dog, they will refer to the dog as a he and she and also it, right? So this is why, because English has that kind of thing.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Next one, 69. Who will recite the ayat and then of course tell us what is the feminine there.
I can do it.
Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر الناظرين.
Awesome. Okay. What are the feminine words, nouns there?
Again, the word baqaratun is feminine.
And
And
anybody else? Besides bakaratun, which another word is there which is feminine?
Is it
Safarao, asant. Safarao, right? Remember we said with alif, and here it is. Colors, right?
Mhm.
So here we say Baida, Hamra. So Baida is white, no, red, Safara. So this is Safara, right? Which is yellow. So Bakaratun Safara. Keep in mind that when you describe a male, an adjective used will be also masculine. When you describe a female, an adjective which you use will also be feminine. So because this particular color is describing a bakara, which is feminine, that's why they use bakaratun safara. No, that means a yellow cow. Okay, that is cow, safara. So both these are about feminine. Okay, now we go to next ayat. Yes, number 70.
I'll go.
Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي إن البقرة تشابه علينا وإنا إن شاء الله لمهتدون. So again, Baqarah. And,
Now, subhanallah, you can see here, for some reason, I really surprised now. Do you see this here? What does the Quran say? Is it Baqarah or Baqarah?
Baqarah.
Right. Do you see this thing? Why? Is there a typo or what is there?
Inna?
Inna will not change masculine to feminine, right?
Oh, yes.
Inna will bring about accusative case. So it has changed to Baqarah from Baqarata.
Because the next word has a ta. That begins with a ta, that's all.
No,
Ratan, no?
Tashabaha, no. Good try, but no. Because now it is, keep in mind, look at the arguments taking place. When Israel were asked to slaughter the cow, right? They're doing it. Now they still want to argue. So now they're not talking of a cow. They're talking of the group of cows. Okay? They say, in al-bakara tashabaha. Indeed, all cows are much alike to us. So now all cows are, that means it is now a family. It's a group. For example, this is a cow and these are cows. So this bakara now is not only a masculine or a feminine, it is a group of cows. Okay, so that is why it is because the time Mulbut has disappeared in the bakara. So in this particular ayat, Humayl, we don't have a single feminine. Okay, because here in the bakara, tashabaha alayna. All cows are similar to us, tashabah, not shabi. For example, we say shabiya payamba, right? Shabiya, that means he used to look like Rasulullah, right? So this is tashabah. All cows look similar to us.
What about Mahia?
Yeah.
Yeah, because still the question, okay, right? That they said invoke for us that he may clarify for us what she may be, right? Because still the question continues, which that cow. But then they are trying to say when Musa told them this is the kind of cow which should be not young, which should not be very old, in between, it should be yellow and all those things. But they say that yes, still tell us which is it. What they wanted to try to perhaps say that of all the cows, maybe Musa should example which particular cow. The cow which is my home, your home, living near the masjid somewhere, no? So, and then they said, in the Baqarah tashab alayna. Indeed, all cows are much alike to us. So here, Al-Baqarah is like a group of cows. That's why it's not a family. Although the question was still, what is that particular cow? But then they are trying to argue that no, why we are still not satisfied with the answer because they are confused. Although scholars tell us that this is were just arguments. Now, people, for example, sometimes they want to do certain things, they bring a lot of arguments. Have you seen somebody who doesn't want to say namaz? What kind of arguments they give? Now, all those things, or somebody who doesn't wear hijab, you'll find all kind of arguments they give, right? Sometimes you feel that no, there is just no win. There is no way that you can win over them because they just go on arguing. Right? Okay, so that was ayat number 70, right? You go to 71. You can also say it again if somebody wants. Yeah.
I can go this time.
Okay, Sister Sabela.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا ذلول تثير الأرض ولا تسقي الحرث مسلمة لا شيئة فيها قالوا الآن جئت بالحق فذبحوها وما كادوا يفعلون.
Okay. So it's a beautiful now. The argument is coming to an end. قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة. Subhan. Do you see the beauty of the language? See, because I want you to really appreciate the Quran. See, قال إنه يقول إنها. Do you see how it changes? He says that he says. قال إنه. No, he said that indeed Allah has said, يقول, Allah has said, that is إنه, إنها. Now إنها refers to what? Cow. You see? So first innahu refers to Allah, indeed he. Innaha, that means indeed that cow. Innaha bakaratun. So yes, Sister Sabra, which are the words which are feminine there?
So Bakaratun,
Yes.
and then Musallamatun,
Yes.
La Shiata,
Shiata.
that's a Tamil Buddha.
Shiata. Yeah, I will accept that just now. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Shiata, yeah. What else?
Arda,
Arda, yeah, Arda. Remember we said earth is always feminine. So la zalulun tusirul arda, right? To not broken to till the earth or water tillage. So arda is also what is feminine. Wala taski al hars. Okay, so these are all feminine. We have 3 more ayat to go in this passage. Yes, anybody else?
Okay, I'll try the next one.
Bismillah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وإذ قتلتم نفسا فأدرأتم فيها والله مخرج ما كنتم تكتمون.
Yes.
Nafsan would be.
Exactly. Nafsan is a feminine.
I can't read that word. It's
yeah, that is the only one which is feminine. That's correct.
Okay.
So nafsan, no, is qataltum nafsan, and when you killed a soul, nafsan, no, fadarartum fiha, and you accuse one another, no, you start accusing yourself. Allahu mukhrijum ma kuntum taktumun. Allah is now going to just expose what you are concealing, because somebody was killed, and now Allah is going to do it by this miracle of what is calm, right? So next ayat, yes,
I'll go.
yes.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقلنا اضربه ببعضها كذلك يحيي الله موتى ويريكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون.
Mhm.
So, Mauta
Yeah, Mauta is feminine because of
and
Maksura. Okay,
Ayatihi.
because of Maksura, and then Ayatihi, yes, Ayat. So Ayatun is also feminine. Now Mauta here, of course, is feminine on account of broken plural, okay? That's right, broken plural. Yes, last ayat.
What about life? Is that no? Is life true?
What did you say?
Hayat yuhyi.
No, Yuhi is a verb.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Hayat is, you're right, Hayat is a feminine, but here it is Kazalika Yuhi. This is how Allah gives life to revive the dead.
Okay.
This is how Allah gives life to the dead. Kazalika Yuhi Allahul Mauta. This is how Allah gives life to the dead. Next ayat.
Go.
Yes, Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشكك فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون.
Good, Hassan. So, yes, can you now identify the feminine nouns?
حجارة
Yes,
the stones.
hijara, okay, because it's in any time removed. Hijara is stones or rocks, yes.
قسوة
Sotun, yes. Time removed again, yes.
I mean hijara comes again.
Again, yeah. And next time, hijara, yes.
And then ma for water. Al-ma.
Now, ma, I don't think is feminine, although it ends with alif and hamza. But what we'll do, you know, if you have access to your phone, just go to Google and just write, is the word ma, is it feminine or masculine? No, Google will tell you because there are, you know, you can check it. So I don't think ma is, although it is in the, it has the sign of alif and hamza, alif and hamza, alif, madda, hamza, like, you know, bayda, but ma, the way I remember, is not.
So it's masculine.
It's masculine, right? Yeah, good. So you can see that it says masculine. So yeah, so this can be again exception, although it has the signs of feminine as we saw by the, but ma is masculine. See, this is how it is, that when you do it, then you can, inna minha lama yahbatul min khashyatillah mullah ghafna. This ayat is very beautiful. Ponder over this ayat, see what Allah says. He says, summa kasat qulubukum min ba'di zalika. Then your hearts harden after that. So they are like stones or even harder. When sometimes a person's heart becomes hardened, this is what we are doing just now. For example, that they in the argument of defending themselves, the state of Israel has killed so many people, including children, women, all sick, innocent, right? All of them. What is happening? You can see Allah says, when the hearts becomes hardened, no, so then your hearts harden after that. So they are like stones or even harder. Sometimes the hearts become stone even harder than stone. Why? Allah says, for the indeed some stones from which streams gush forth, right? And there are some from which the water issues from them. Although you can see that the same stone which is so hard, over time, it will also give water, or also water can get in, right? You can see. So there are some stone from streams gush forth, right? Or you can see, or there are some or there are some of them that split, and water issues from them, right? So you can see that, but these hearts are so harder than water than even stone, right? Subhanallah. So you can see sometimes when a person becomes disbeliever or argumentative or arrogant, it reaches the stage that his heart becomes so hard, right? So you can see this is what Allah is telling. It's a beautiful ayat, and this is exactly what's happening. That in spite of all this bloodshed, destruction, so many people being killed, still the same argument that no, we are defending. We have the right of defend, and in the process, they can kill anybody they want, destroy so many people, right? So this is a very good example of how hearts become harder than stones. And we should always be careful that it should not reach in our life that, for example, sometimes we start committing sins or doing things to the extent that it's no longer now, nothing, for example, helps us. We don't, for example, any kind of arguments does not change our mind, right? So this is very serious. Yeah, let's go quickly to now next passage, which is only 3 ayat. So ayat number 127.
So Sheikh, can we just look at the last ayat which we were doing, 74, in that we have khashya, min khashyati,
Yes. Yes.
That would be also feminine, right?
Khashyat, yes, that's correct. Min khashyatillah. Khashya with ta'ita marbuta is feminine, that's correct. Thank you.
And a question, minhul anhar. This would not be, rivers would not fall in the category of feminine.
No. Again, as Ali Azhar checked on Google, you can also check, for example, just if you have the phone, just write the word is Nahar masculine or feminine. Just write N-A-H-A-R, Nahar. Is Nahar masculine, feminine? It will tell you.
Thank you.
So Nahar is masculine and Ahar is plural. Okay, so now we go to ayat number 127 and 128, right? When Nabi Ibrahim and Ismail, as they were raising the walls of Khana Kaaba, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. As Ibrahim raised the foundations of the house, إذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل, and also Ismail, ربنا تقبل منا, Allah accept from us, إنك أنت السميع العليم. So you can see in this, there is nothing which is feminine. But later on, inshallah, you will learn, because the word qawaid is foundations. No, so qawaid is foundation, and because it is a broken plural, and broken plural I also use as a feminine. So because of that, but of course, this is a separate example altogether. It's not those signs of feminine which we did, ta marbuta, or alif maksura, or alif and hamza. No. So this is on account of being a broken plural. So it can be feminine, but of course there are no signs. Yes, next ayat, anybody?
I can go.
Yes, Bismillah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ربنا واجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. So ummatan would be one place which is feminine.
Yes.
Muslimatan would be
Yes.
another one.
Mhm. And also dhurriya. Okay, because it is zurriyatina.
Yes, okay.
Was dhurriya, and then you add na. Remember, like kitabuna. Book, our book we say kitabuna. So dhurriyatuna means our descendants, our progeny, right? So dhurriyatuna. Dhurriya also is a feminine.
Feminine.
Dhurriyata ummatan muslimatan. No, you can see from our progeny, there should be what a nation which is a Muslim. So dhurriyah, actually you'll be surprised. Ummatan Muslimatan, these are feminine because of dhurriyah. Because he's describing dhurriyah, that our generation from our progeny, which should be a Muslim, a ummat which is a Muslim. So because it is describing a group of people from the progeny, should be a ummat, a nation which is a Muslimah. So dhurriyatan ummatan muslimatan. I mean dhurriyatan ummatan muslimatan. Wa arina manasikana. Wa tub alayna innaka anta tawwabur rahim. Yes. Last ayat in this passage.
I can go.
Yes, Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا وابعث فيهم رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم.
Yes. What are the feminine there?
آياتك.
Yes, Asant.
Hikmata.
حكمة.
Asant. Two of them, yeah. Ayatika and Hikmat. Again, you can see Ayati, although there is a ka there, but that ka is a pronoun, right? You know by now that that ka is a pronoun. So your sign, Ayatika. No, but Hikmah is also. So it's good that no. Do you see how this, what is masculine and what's feminine? You can try to know just by reading this thing, and accordingly, of course, the words will change because when it's feminine noun, subject is feminine. When it's adjective, becomes feminine, and what is a pronoun referring to will become feminine. For example, here, huwa, ha. So that is it. Now, since we are in this passage, this is very important. Now, on ayat number 127. وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. So that part, ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم, you should memorize that. And that can be used every time, anytime, any good, anything you do for the sake of Allah, which is anything, for example, you which is not haram, you can pray to Allah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. No, Allah, accept from us, no, accept our efforts. For example, just now you are putting efforts to learn this thing, right? So after that you can say, Rabbana taqabbal minna, Allah, accept from us, innaka antas alim. Indeed, you are, all hearing and all knowing. So you see, you can hear what I'm doing. You also know what I had to go through for me to put into efforts. So it's a very beautiful ayat. You can use this thing. You can even say after namaz, for example, the moment you finish your namaz, the fourth Imam Sajjad al-Islam, we are told that after every namaz, he will go to sajda, right? So that you can do. Now, once you go to sajda, what do you say? You can say anything, but you can also say this ayah. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka samiyun. So you finish your namaz, go to sajda immediately, and now pray to Allah. Rabbana taqabbal minna, oh Allah, accept from us. Innaka antas samiul alim. Indeed, you are all hearing and seeing. So it is a good dua to recite it. No, every time you do an act, recite this dua, especially after namaz. Because you won't, when we see our namaz, sometimes our thoughts or to get distracted here and there. So we want to pray to Allah that may Allah accept that namaz. No? So go to sajda immediately. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim. It's a beautiful ayat which you can do that. Okay. So that was very good. I'm glad that all of you participated, and I'm also doing with you. Although I put this slide and say what we are going to do, but I did not go through it earlier. No, I thought I'll do with you and see what it is. No? So of course, now what remains is Surah Al-Fajr and Surah Duha. So what you do instead of doing now, that will be your homework. Now what you can do is that just go to any website and try to find, try to find the text of Surah Al-Fajr and Surah Al-Duha, and then just try to highlight the feminine nouns on those surahs, okay? And one, of course, sometimes you are not sure, you can see the meaning. Still not sure, then as I said, then you can Google it. But just now, don't always use Google. Just now, because we are learning this, we are doing this lesson, so use alamat ta'nith. That means the signs of feminine. Ta marbuta, alif maksura, alif and hamza, or for example, as we read, if it is a name of the wings or colors, right? Now, in the homework, let me just this is the homework we did, right? This is what we were told, that I will ask you to highlight this thing. Now, what we have done when I did this homework, right, is that we have separated the letter waw, because this is known as vowel conjugation, was samai. You see, for example, Ali wa Fatima, Ali and Fatima. So that Ali and Fatima, that waw is known as waw of ataf, conjugation. Okay, so I have separated that from the noun. Okay. Also, what I have done is that I have added hyphen between noun and the pronouns attached to them. So just to highlight what is feminine. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله والسماء بنيناها بأيد وإنا لموسعون, right? So this bar should not have been there. This is so it should be والسماء and أيد. This bar should not have been highlighted, although I separated, but it got highlighted. No? So just أيد. So sama is best feminine, and أيد, right? أيد is feminine because it is part of the body which is in pair. Ard is also feminine, okay? Nafs is feminine, we need, right? Yad again. Aid is plural, yad is singular, it's feminine. Bayda, which is color, white, which is feminine, right? Inna al-izzata, al-izza is feminine because it's marbuta, right? Laj, wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. Yawma tara al-mu'minina wal-mu'minat. So, of course, mu'minat, this is also feminine, which I forgot to highlight. Mu'minat is known as feminine because mu'minat is a plural of mu'mina, mu'mina. Mu'mina singular, mu'minat is plural, right? So the plural of mu'min. So this is also feminine. Nur, like, although it's not mentioned here, you know, sometimes somebody asked me last time that in that list, for example, on our table, you know, on page 53, if you see the table which is there, somebody asked me, are there many more words than that? At that time I said, I'm not sure, but you can see this is it, right? If you see here, sama, nafsun, khamrun, ardun, harbun, even they will not mention nur. Okay? So nur also is feminine. And that is why you can see sometimes the name of a girl will be Nur, right? Because Nur is a feminine. No? So Nur also is a feminine. No? Here, Nur. Aidi again is feminine, right? Bushra, feminine. Jannat is plural of Jannatun, feminine. Okay. Al-Jannah is singular, right? Uqba, you can see Uqba is again Ta marbuta, sorry, Alif maksura, so tilka Uqba, badladina takaw, no? So this Uqba is feminine. Again, Uqba second. Uqba kafi and Na, right? And Na also is feminine. So this is how highlighted here. Okay, just what I forgotten was this muminat, which I'm going to do it, and I'll separate this bar. So inshallah, this is feminine. So what I want you to similarly just go to any website and download Surah Al-Fajr and Surah Al-Duha. And let's just highlight the feminine. That will complete our lesson on this thing. And I hope that your participation was good. That means now you did it yourself. No. Any questions? So it is important once you know feminine, because then accordingly as we go further for adjectives, then you're going to, once you know that a noun is feminine, then when you apply its adjective, also has to be feminine. If you apply a pronoun to it, you use feminine. Okay, so it's important that we know all those feminine. Any questions? Any clarifications? Let me see if there is. Okay. Purpose Quran course. Yeah, is a good website, shows grammatical analysis of the verses of Quran. Yeah, I know this thing, but keep in mind that it's a very good. Yeah, this is a very good website. That it gives grammatical analysis of every word. No? So when sometimes you run into a problem, you can use it. But it is good that when we do it, for example, let's say if you do the homework of Surah Al-Fajr and Dua, don't go to this website. You know? First of all, you you try to identify the feminine based on the lesson. What you've done, instead of going just to the website. Because then otherwise it doesn't make sense, right? Because Quran is so rich and all Muslims respect Quran, so you'll find thousands of websites and thousands of information on Quran. But you want to learn the rules to be able to do it. Okay. Any questions? Inshallah, so inshallah, see you next week. And thank you very much for being there on time. So we started also on time.